What's happening in Vietnam, the craziest country in Asia? You might be surprised to find that people here are willing to invite you to try a sip of snake wine, a legendary elixir with an entire venomous snake immersed in it, believed to boost health and longevity. And don't be alarmed if you're invited to eat dog meat at the end of the month just to shake off bad luck. But that's not all, because Vietnam has many more fascinating and unexpected things waiting for you. So, what are you waiting for? Join us as we explore some of the country's most surprising secrets in today's video, and see if you dare to experience it all. Number 15. Vietnam's strange elixir. If you've ever thought that alcohol is simply a fermented beverage, get ready for a new perspective when you visit Vietnam. Here, snake wine is a bizarre miracle tonic, both a cultural shock and a curiosity for international visitors. Made by soaking a whole snake, often a venomous one like a cobra, in rice wine, snake wine is not just a drink but a symbol of traditional medicine and Vietnam's unique cultural heritage. The process of making snake wine is not for the faint of heart. A snake, the bigger and more dangerous the better, is cleaned and placed in a jar of rice wine. It is believed that during the soaking process, the snake's venom is neutralized by the alcohol, turning it into a healthy and potent tonic. Sometimes, to make it even more extravagant, snake wine is combined with other herbs or animals such as scorpions or lizards. According to traditional Vietnamese medicine, snake wine is said to offer numerous health benefits, from improving circulation and relieving back pain to boosting energy and promoting youthfulness. It is often consumed on special occasions like holidays, weddings, or simply to boost morale during gatherings. But the benefits of snake wine don't just stop at health. Drinking it is also seen as a way to prove one's courage. For many people, just looking at the snake floating in the jar is enough to make their hands tremble, let alone actually drinking it. The practice of drinking snake wine originates from beliefs in East Asian traditional medicine, where snakes are seen as symbols of strength and longevity. In Vietnamese culture, consuming snake or snake products is not only a way to boost nutrition, but also an act of overcoming fear. Snake wine is often given as a prestigious gift during holidays, symbolizing good luck and health. Many families treat snake wine as a family treasure and invite guests to enjoy it as a gesture of hospitality. International tourists, especially first-timers to Vietnam, are often drawn to the idea of drinking snake wine. Some see it as a cultural experience, while others view it as a major test of bravery. If you're feeling daring, take a sip. The taste is quite strong but not too different from regular rice wine. Just be sure to overlook the snake floating inside the jar. Number 14. Anything can be eaten in Vietnam. If you think Vietnamese cuisine is just about pho, Vietnamese sandwiches, and kebab rice noodles, you've missed a whole universe of surprising and somewhat strange dishes. Yes, when you enter the world of Vietnamese food, you won't just enjoy the familiar dishes, but you'll also face some truly adventurous challenges. Imagine sitting on a small plastic chair by the sidewalk in Hanoi, holding a bowl of steaming pho with a rich aromatic broth and the fragrance of cinnamon and star anise filling the air, thinking you've conquered Vietnamese cuisine. But no, your adventure is just beginning. Vietnam doesn't hesitate to challenge your taste buds with dishes whose names alone are enough to leave you amazed. From fertilized duck eggs, a delicacy believed to bring health benefits, to dog meat, which is meticulously prepared in some regions with the belief that it brings good luck at the end of the lunar month. Then there's shrimp paste, the ultimate challenge for your sense of smell, which, when paired correctly with bun đao, becomes a surprising and harmonious blend of flavors. If you're brave enough to try a sip of snake wine or bird's nest wine, drinks that locals believe boost vitality, then congratulations, you've officially entered the ranks of the most daring food lovers. How do you imagine eating a mouse? In some rural areas of Vietnam, grilled field rats are considered a delicacy. Small, clean rats are roasted to a crisp and served with fresh herbs. It may sound strange, but the taste is surprisingly not bad at all. This dish will surely provide you with an unforgettable experience. If you're an adventurous food lover, Vietnam is a must-visit destination offering countless daring and unusual dishes. Banh mi, which CNN named the world's best sandwich, is not just a crispy baguette with grilled meat and pickled vegetables. It's the perfect fusion of French and Vietnamese cuisine, showcasing the Vietnamese people's endless creativity and adaptability. And if you're even more curious, try stepping into the bustling night markets. The savory aroma of grilled meat skewers, crispy banh xeo with shrimp and pork, or a refreshing bowl of chi with various toppings will show you that eating in Vietnam is not just about food, it's an experience that connects people and cultures. So, are you ready to face the culinary challenges in Vietnam? Who knows, you might just find that one strange dish that becomes your favorite. Number 13. The Ninja Lead Cult. Have you ever heard of the ninja-led concept? If not, get ready, because this is a specialty unique to Vietnam. Women dressed from head to toe in sun-protective clothing, masks, sunglasses, helmets, and sometimes gloves, looking nothing short of modern ninjas. What's even more interesting is their true ninja skills when riding their motorcycles on the streets with absolute confidence, moving at high speed and seemingly oblivious to everything around them, as if the road is theirs alone. Most of them ride scooters, primarily the Lead model, but sometimes it can be other models like Vision, Wave, or SH. Many foreign visitors often think this full-body covering is due to religious beliefs, and this is often amusing to the Vietnamese, as their street specialty becomes something novel for tourists. The interesting part of the Ninja Lead phenomenon isn't just their unique fashion style, but their masterful motorcycle skills. You'll see them signal left, but turn right, suddenly cut across in front of another vehicle, or even go the wrong way confidently, as if the road was made just for them. Yet, you can't deny that they are the soul of Vietnam's traffic, colorful and unpredictable. Have you ever encountered a ninja lead in your travels to Vietnam or something similar in other countries? Share your story in the comments below. Number 12. Floating markets, supermarket on the river. If you think traditional markets in Vietnam are interesting enough, then floating markets will surely surprise you. Floating markets are iconic symbols of the Mekong Delta region, originating hundreds of years ago before road transportation systems were developed. These markets are not just places for trading goods, but also centers of cultural exchange, where locals live and trade on the river as part of their everyday life. Some of the most famous floating markets include Kai Rang, Kai Bi, Tan Chau, and Dong Hoi. Each market has its own unique features, but they share a common point: the vibrant atmosphere and the unique beauty of the river. At the floating markets, everything is bought and sold on boats. Locals load up goods, from fruits and vegetables to fresh fish and hot dishes like sandwiches and noodle soups, on small boats. Some boats even serve as gas stations or mobile coffee shops on the water. You can easily enjoy a glass of iced coffee for just $1 while your boat gently glides along the river. Each boat has a pole used to hang the goods they are selling. This serves as a mobile sign, allowing buyers to recognize what each boat sells from a distance without needing to approach. Do you see a bunch of bananas hanging? That's the fruit boat. Spot some fresh green vegetables? That boat sells vegetables. Floating markets are not only a place to buy and sell goods, but also a popular tourist destination. Annually, around 1.5 million domestic and international visitors visit the large floating markets in the Mekong Delta. They come not only to shop, but also to experience the lively atmosphere, learn about life on the river, and enjoy the unique culture of the West. You can start your day at the floating market around 5 to 6 a.m., when the sun rises, casting light on the water to create a sparkling scene. The boats crowd together, and the sounds of sellers calling out mix with the splash of paddles, creating a unique symphony that captivates anyone who visits. In addition to delicious fresh fruits like mangoes and coconuts, the floating markets are also famous for their simple but flavorful dishes of the Mekong region. From a hot bowl of noodle soup on a boat, to crispy pancakes or fragrant noodle soups, everything is prepared right on the boat and served to you. The space is vast, but the service is as good as a 5-star restaurant. Number 11. Elephant taxi service. If you are accustomed to modern taxi services in large cities, the concept of elephant taxis in the Central Highlands will surprise and delight you. Instead of motorbikes or gasoline-powered cars, your mode of transportation here is a giant yet gentle elephant, creating a unique and rare transportation service found nowhere else in the world. For a modest fee, usually around $15 to $20, you can experience the sensation of riding an elephant across red dirt roads, lush forests, or even wading through calm rivers. One of the most famous places to try this service is Lac Lake in Dak Lak, where you can sit on the elephant's back and connect with nature in its most pristine form. The elephants here are carefully trained by experienced elephant caretakers, ensuring that your journey will be safe and comfortable. In addition to traveling, you also have the opportunity to feed the elephants or take photos with these giant yet friendly animals. The elephant riding service is not only an exciting tourism experience but also reflects a part of the local culture. Elephants have long been a symbol of the Central Highlands, playing an important role in the lives of the indigenous people, especially the Eid and Manong ethnic groups. In the past, elephants were used to transport goods, clear land, and participate in traditional festivals. Today, with the development of tourism, elephants have been repurposed to serve tourists, providing a sustainable source of income for local communities. Although attractive and unique, the elephant riding service faces many challenges. The number of domesticated elephants in the Central Highlands has dramatically decreased over the years, from 500 in the 1980s to less than 100 in 2024. The main reasons are habitat loss and overexploitation for tourism. Despite the debates over conservation, the elephant taxi remains an unforgettable experience when you visit the Central Highlands. It not only brings adventure but also opens the door to explore the unique culture and nature of this land. So, if given the opportunity, would you be ready to book an elephant taxi for yourself? Number 10. Sidewalk culture. This is where you can find everything, from sidewalk barbershops where skilled barbers wield scissors with precision, to fragrant faux stalls with steaming broth or brightly colored souvenir stands beside cafes with tiny plastic chairs that are surprisingly convenient. It's no wonder that many visitors call Vietnam's sidewalks the social hall, a place where people gather, chat, and enjoy everyday moments. In the morning, sidewalks become outdoor gyms as the elderly practice Tai Chi or jog around Hoan Kiem Lake. Some young people take the opportunity to stretch and wake up their bodies before starting their day. By noon, the sidewalks turn into outdoor restaurants. You can easily enjoy a bowl of fragrant grilled pork noodles, crispy pancakes, or golden fried spring rolls served quickly right next to the passing crowd. And when night falls, this space becomes an ideal gathering spot. Families dine together, friends catch up over a few bottles of draft beer, creating a lively and cozy atmosphere. But what makes Vietnam's sidewalks special is their chaotic yet well-organized nature. Here you can see a sugarcane juice vendor right next to a makeshift motorbike repair shop with a noodle soup stall beside them. If you stop for just a second on the sidewalk, a motorbike taxi driver will quickly approach and ask, "Where to, sir?" And if you think everything here is static, just wait for the authorities to show up. In an instant, the stalls, plastic chairs, and boiling pots of soup will disappear magically. The sidewalk becomes eerily quiet, as if nothing ever happened. But just a few hours later, everything is back in place, perfectly recreated as though no interruption had occurred. Sidewalks in Vietnam are not just public spaces, they are stages for all daily activities, an indispensable part of the culture and rhythm of Vietnamese life. If you have the chance to experience it, stop at a corner sidewalk, sip an iced coffee, and feel the unceasing movement of life here. Number 9. It seems like everyone's last name is Nguyen. If you're a first-time foreign visitor to Vietnam, you might ask yourself, why does everyone seem to have the last name Nguyen? It's not an illusion. In fact, about 40% of Vietnam's population carries the Nguyen surname, making it the most common last name in the country. The second most common is Tran, with 11%, but that's still a small number compared to the Nguyen family. The dominance of the Nguyen surname comes from Vietnam's feudal history. For many centuries, the royal dynasties would grant the emperor's surname to citizens, especially those who had done significant service or wished to avoid persecution. Because the Nguyen dynasty, from 1802 to 1945, was the longest ruling dynasty in Vietnam's history, the practice of granting the surname Nguyen led to a massive increase in the number of people bearing that name over generations. Additionally, the Nguyen surname appeared in many periods of Vietnamese history, from the Nguyen lords of the south to earlier kings and lords, making it a familiar surname across the country. In many Western countries, it's common to address people by their last name, such as Mr. Smith or Miss Johnson. However, in Vietnam, this can sometimes lead to amusing situations. Imagine entering a classroom and calling out Mr. Run, only to have half the class turn around. In international events, sometimes Vietnamese athletes or artists with the last name Nguyen can cause confusion for organizers who don't know who is who. Although Nguyen predominates, Vietnam still has a wide variety of other surnames such as Tran, Ly, Pho, or Vo. Less common surnames like Dang, Duong, and Bai also contribute to the country's cultural diversity, especially in mountainous regions and among ethnic minorities. Surnames like Yang, Li, or Vang reflect local characteristics, adding to the social richness. Number 8. The culture of beer drinking after work. Vietnamese people love beer to the point where Vietnam is the leading beer consumer in Southeast Asia and is in the top 10 worldwide. According to 2023 statistics, the Vietnamese consume over 4.6 billion liters of beer annually, equivalent to about 47 liters per person. This means that if you walk through any city in the evening, you'll almost certainly find crowded beer stalls. Vietnamese people can drink beer anywhere, but the most common place is sidewalk beer stalls. Here, you'll find rows of red and green plastic chairs tightly packed together with simple tables overflowing with delicious food. Light beer, known as beer hoi, is the most popular because it's cheap, less than 50 cents. Vietnamese people are not only good at drinking beer, but they are also great at eating. A typical beer table is filled with dishes like fried sour spring rolls, fried tofu, grilled chicken feet, or spicy Thai-style hot pot. One of the most common snacks is roasted peanuts, tasty, affordable, and never missing from the table. Drinking beer in Vietnam is not just about quenching thirst. It also reflects the Vietnamese spirit of optimism and love for life. No matter how busy life may be, they always find ways to enjoy simple but meaningful moments. Interestingly, on the beer table, all distances disappear, whether between bosses and employees or old friends and new acquaintances. Vietnamese people have a saying, no drink, no return. But if you don't drink beer, don't worry. They'll happily offer soft drinks or fruit juice so you won't feel left out. If you prefer a more upscale experience, craft beer restaurants are becoming increasingly popular in major cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Craft beers with unique flavors, from fruity to rich European-style beers, are gradually captivating young people and foreigners. Number 7. Men like to show their bellies. If you visit Vietnam during the scorching summer, you might encounter a familiar sight. Men, especially older ones, sitting comfortably on chairs, lifting their shirts to reveal their bellies, their natural air conditioner. Whether in parks, cafes, or even on motorcycles, this image is not uncommon for Western tourists. This might be both surprising and a bit confusing. The reason is quite simple. Vietnam's hot and humid climate, with average summer temperatures reaching 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. Lifting their shirts helps men cool off from the stifling heat. This is seen as a natural, cost-effective way to cool down. Instead of using air conditioning or fans all day, they opt for the simplest solution, lifting their shirts and catching the breeze. It's not just about cooling off, it's also a sign of comfort and relaxation after a hard day's work. Vietnamese men often gather to chat, drink beer, and unwind. A bare belly is sometimes even considered a symbol of being well off because traditionally, a round belly signifies health and success. Interestingly, everyone has their own way of lifting their shirts to show off their belly. Some just lift it a little, just enough to feel the breeze. Others pull it all the way up to their chest, fully revealing their impressive bellies. When sitting in a group of friends, they sometimes joke about comparing their belly sizes, and the one with the biggest belly is often seen as the most prosperous. Tourists to Vietnam often share the culture shock they experience when they first see this. Some find it humorous, while others might feel confused, wondering if it's a deliberate act of showing off. However, once they understand it's just a natural habit, most laugh it off and enjoy this quirky cultural experience. Number 6. Getting rich with casino gambling. An activity often deemed illegal in many countries takes on a very unique form in Vietnam. While local people are strictly limited in their participation, foreign visitors have the freedom to enter casinos and gamble freely, creating a rare and distinctive feature not found elsewhere. Vietnam has an interesting approach to the gambling industry. In theory, Vietnamese people are not allowed to gamble, but the law permits foreigners to bet in licensed casinos. The Vietnamese government has allowed the construction of several large casinos in popular tourist destinations, such as Phu Quoc, Diang, and Ha Long, to attract international visitors and boost the local economy. The largest casino at the moment is the Corona Resort Casino in Phu Quoc, where visitors can experience the thrill of chance in a luxurious setting with a full range of games, from slot machines to poker, blackjack, and roulette. This is also the first casino to allow certain Vietnamese citizens to participate under strict conditions related to income and assets. Allowing foreigners to gamble is part of a broader economic and tourism strategy. According to statistics, the gambling industry in Vietnam generates over 1 billion USD annually. With the growth of international tourism, legal casinos have become popular destinations, attracting large numbers of visitors from China, South Korea, and Western countries. In addition to modern casinos, visitors can also enjoy traditional games like Ba Tai Shu or F during festivals in rural Vietnamese villages. Though not officially sanctioned, these games represent a part of the country's folk culture and entertainment spirit. What makes Vietnam unique is the contrast in how gambling is managed between locals and foreigners. While foreigners can participate freely, locals risk heavy penalties if caught gambling illegally. This stems from traditional views that see gambling as a double-edged sword, which can lead to social problems like debt and crime. However, the government is experimenting with allowing certain Vietnamese citizens to join legal casinos with strict criteria, such as a minimum monthly income of 10 million VND and a clean criminal record. This is an important step toward regulating this activity legally and reducing underground gambling. Number 5. The Twin Village of Vietnam. If you think twins are rare, prepare to be surprised in Hun Loc Village, Dong Nai Province, where seeing identical people is not surprising, but rather an everyday occurrence. Located about 55 kilometers from Ho Chi Minh City, this village is known as the Twin Village of Vietnam, famous for an unusually high twin birth rate, attracting both scientists and tourists curious about the mystery. The people of Hun Loc don't view twin births as something extraordinary, as it seems to have become a local specialty. The twin birth rate here is much higher than the global average of around 1.1 to 1.2% of the world's population. Some families even have 2 or 3 sets of twins in the same generation. The reason behind this phenomenon? Scientists are still studying it, but one interesting theory is that a natural chemical in the local water supply could be stimulating the high rate of twin pregnancies. While no official conclusion has been reached, this mystery only adds to the village's appeal for science enthusiasts and those interested in strange biological phenomena. What's fascinating about Hun Loc is not only the high rate of twin births, but also the unique romantic stories. There are cases where twin sisters marry twin brothers and then have twin children. Imagine being at a family gathering where you can't tell who's who and might mistakenly call your brother-in-law your husband, just because they look so alike. With such a high number of twins, it's no surprise that Hun Loc has turned this unique phenomenon into part of their culture. The village holds annual twin festivals, where twins of all ages come together to participate in fun activities like parades, performances, and twin games. This is not only a celebration but also an opportunity for the villagers to share their stories and bond with each other. Imagine walking into a festival where you see 2 identical people everywhere, dressed in matching clothes, laughing and chatting happily. Even the twins themselves sometimes get confused when they can't tell apart other twin couples. This extraordinary phenomenon has turned Hun Loc into a popular destination for both researchers and tourists. So are you ready for a double the fun trip? Visit Hun Loc and see if you can tell the twins apart. Number 4. The Kingdom of Motorbikes. When you arrive in Vietnam, don't be too shocked to see motorbikes everywhere. That's right, it's not cars and it's not buses, but motorbikes that reign supreme on every road. Vietnamese people don't just ride motorbikes, they live with them. And sometimes it seems like the entire country operates on the hum of motorbike engines. Imagine standing in the middle of a busy intersection in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. The sound of motorbike engines mixes with honking horns, creating a lively street symphony where there's no conductor, but everything still flows in a strangely coordinated manner. Riders of all ages can be seen, from elderly people carrying bird cages to young people transporting entire sound systems. With a population of nearly 100 million, Vietnam has 60 million motorbikes. That means it's common for families to own 2 or 3 bikes. While in many countries cars are a symbol of wealth, in Vietnam, owning a car is a distant dream for most people. Why? Because car taxes can be as high as 200%. That means you have to pay triple for each car. No wonder only the wealthiest can afford them, and even they have to endure long traffic jams. Thus, motorbikes become the heroes of Vietnam's traffic. Narrow roads? No problem. Motorbikes can weave through the tiniest gaps. Faced with a dead end? Just ride on the sidewalk. In fact, motorbikes here can carry just about anything from bags of rice and large refrigerators to even a family of 4. The Vietnamese have a unique driving style, riding against traffic, turning without signals, and sometimes stopping right in the middle of the street to buy vegetables. But don't be scared. They are so skilled that they've created a traffic ecosystem where, after observing for just a few minutes, you'll realize you're in the middle of an organized chaos maze. If you want to blend in, a motorbike is essential. But remember to wear a helmet, not just for safety, but also to look cooler in those dusty travel photos.